Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to pull out of my pocket this. You know what this is? Can you see that? There, right there. It's a Leatherman Wave. A Leatherman Wave. Now, this is like everything that you need, if not maybe most things that you need, or, well, okay, there's no hacksaw on it, but you know how your phone, it can like take pictures and surf the internet and then you can like, it's got a watch on it and a timer and a stopwatch and all that shit, and absolutely everything that way. Well, this is like the phone of tools, man. Now, there are other multi-tools out there. Some that are less expensive, some that are more expensive, some that are lighter, some that are heavier, some that have more tools, some that have less tools. But this one here, the Leatherman Wave, I'd say is probably the best multi-tool out there. This is like the cell phone of fucking tools, man. I think I just said that. Maybe not. I don't know. I can't remember. But yeah, this is a Leatherman Wave. The only multi-tool that I've ever come across that's any better than this is the Leatherman Charge TTI. Now, I'm gonna get into this tool here. I'm gonna show you each little function that this tool has, and 3 uses for each of those functions. Now, we start with the knife. Oop, wrong one. We start with the knife. Now, as you can see, this knife, bloop, it opens with one hand, and you can close it with one hand and open it with one hand, right? Now there's knife. Let's get into 3 uses for this knife. Say you can carve and whittle fucking hot dog sticks with it. Say you smash the fuck out of your leg and it's swelling up like this. Provided that the tip is nice and sharp, you can cut down the side of the leg so that the leg doesn't pop. Because that's called a fasciotomy, actually. And if you don't do that, your leg can explode. If it's swelling up so much that it'll explode. Also, you've got, let's see, what else can you do with this? You could probably shave with it if you get really razor sharp. You could, like, say if you go like this, right, and then you go like that, right? Well, what are you gonna do next? You can take your ashtray, scoop up some ashes, and put them in there. Alright, that's just one thing you can do with that. There's many things you can do with this. This here's your serrated knife. What can you do with a serrated knife? Say you get into a wreck, you can cut your seatbelt off, right? Like, you can cut your seatbelt out. You can cut a tarp with this. You can cut rope with this. See, it has teeth, and they grab into the edges of the tarp or the rope, and it's much better to cut a tarp or a rope or fabric or anything with a serrated knife than it is with a straight edge knife. You got your file. Say you know you are out surviving somewhere and you find an old rusty old tin can and you need something to boil water with. Well, when you go to sip it, what you can do before you can go like this around the inside of the can to get the rust off, and then when you go to sip it, you can like go like that, so you make the top smooth, so you're not gonna cut your lips or whatever on an old tin can that you're surviving out of or whatever, you know. So that's a use for it. Let's see what else. On this side of the file, ladies can go like this or whatever with it, or like this, or however the case may be. I don't know, I'm not a lady, so I don't do that. I prefer to go with the way God intended our fucking cut nails to be. Let's see what else. This has here's a file on the edge here. So you can like, I'm trying to think of a way you could use that. You could like, you know, if you're, I know another use, if you're fucking a model railroader, for example, you'll know that gunk builds up on the rails, which can prevent electrical conductivity. Well, just go like that on the rails, and you're good to go. That's not a recommended practice. I wouldn't recommend it, other than as a last resort. Like if you don't have your cleaning tools with you, you could use that. Let's see. A saw. It's got a saw. Now a saw you can use to cut down a hot dog stick. A saw you can use in the garden to fucking trim like trees and shit. Like to trim them so that so you cut one stalk so it grows 2 new stalks or something. Some plants will do that. Let's see what else you can fucking I'm not even gonna say that. Okay, now all those 4 tools are on the outside within easy access. Bloop, bloop. Now there's 2 ways to tell whether you're gonna open your serrated knife or your straight knife. Now the serrated knife, you can see on here, fuck, this thing is backwards. You can see here a little bit of the file. So if you open that, that's your fucking serrated knife. Now over here, it's smooth. Over here, so over here is gonna be your straight knife. Also, if you're looking at it like this for some reason, or like this for some reason, I don't know why you would do that. The bumpy side here has your serrated knife on it, and then the straight edge here has your straight knife on it. Now let's open this thing up. Alright, now what do you see? The first thing you see is needle nose pliers, regular pliers, and wire cutters. Now for this, you could like get in there and get a hook out of a fish's mouth or something. Your regular pliers you can turn bolts with, or like say if you have an elderly parent or a dog or something, or a cat maybe that can't know that it's eating a pill, you can put the pill in here and crush it up, and then put it in your bowl and boom 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 on the chunks, and then put it in their food. Although to mask the flavor of it, I don't know how you do that. Because if I was an elderly person, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? It tastes like a goddamn pill. So I don't know what the fuck you would do. And dogs, believe you me, dogs have higher senses than humans, so I really don't know what you'd do in that fucking case. And then wire cutters, say you're like right here, say you're fucking setting up your speakers or whatever, and you get one big roll of speaker wire. It will cut through thin wires like speaker wire. It'll cut through medium thickness of wires, so on and so forth. Now this is, forgot what I was going to say. Now on this side here, you got 3 tools, starting with your scissors, although, recommended practice is that you open a tool and then close the handles. right? Now you've got your scissors. Now, what can you use the scissors for? Say you're sewing a badge on your uniform, or you're sewing like your epaulets on like this or whatever, or say you're fixing something with thread or whatever. You can like snip the end of the thread and then burn it so it don't unravel or whatever. Stoners, you can use this as bud snips. This would be your fanciest pair of bud snips. And if you got a mustache because you're a man, and you don't like naked face, which I call woman face, then you can fucking see, and that takes off the little ticklers or whatever, ticklers that tickle your face. See, your mustache can sometimes curl back up and tickle your face. So let's see what else. There's this here. Now this is actually a teeny tiny itty bitty little screwdriver. Now this is removable, and you can flip it around and put it back in, right? So as you can see, this one is broken because I was trying to turn a screw that was way too big and way too tight for it. This is not for turning regular ass screws. This is for like fixing eyeglasses screws, although that's not what's wrong with these glasses. Fuck off. What's wrong with these glasses is the frame is actually broken. Like the metal snapped and everything. What else can you do with this? You can where is it? Fuck. You can fucking adjust the declination on your compass with it. Say if you lose the lanyard on your compass, you can fucking, and the lanyard has that little declination adjustment tool on it, but if you lose the lanyard, you lose that tool. So you can pull out your trusty old Leatherman Wave and do that, or you can use it as a toothpick if you have really tough teeth, which I do not. Let's see, what else can you do? This, I have no idea what this is called, but you can open a can of paint with it. You can also fucking scrape like paint off of a hard surface, like dry paint. You can scrape it off of a hard surface, right? Or you can pry things with it. Say you have a screen that won't come out of your window, you can go pop like that, right? Let's see, those are the 3 tools on this side. Now on this side it only has 2 tools, because this tool here is the fat tool. Just like the screwdriver on the other side, you can remove it and flip it around. You got a flat screwdriver, and you got a star screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver. Now, to turn screws, fuck. Oh, there it is. Ugh. Now, to turn flathead screws and to turn Phillips screws are basically your 2 intended purposes for this. But like, look at this. You got a flathead screw. You can think of like 100 other uses for it, can't you? And even your fucking star screwdriver. Say you could like with a hammer, and that would be, you could like punch soft wood. You could punch, like say if you're gonna fucking screw something into some soft wood, you can punch that wood to mark out where your screw's gonna be, because I mean, hey, these things are built to last. It's not recommended, but as a last resort, I suppose you could. With this tool here, you can open cans, you can open bottles, and what a lot of people don't know about is this little triangular indentation right here, like this. You know what that's for? That's for stripping wires. I don't have a wire in front of me, but say we'll use this. Pretend it's a wire. You can grab the wire here, and then put the wire into that little triangle indentation. Hold down with your finger, and then pull on it, and it strips wires without cutting through the copper. So, this is your Leatherman Wave. Now, what they have out nowadays is called the Leatherman Wave Plus. Now, the only difference in the Leatherman Wave and the Leatherman Wave Plus is that these wire cutters on the Leatherman Wave Plus are replaceable. But as long as you're not some idiot that tries to cut a nail, because a nail is not a wire, it's a nail. It's hardened, fucking thick, hardened steel, and it doesn't cut like a piece of copper that's really thin. So, as you might notice, there's these wire cutters have been fucked up down here at the bottom on this side here, and on this side, because some idiot tried to cut a nail or something with it. But yeah, this is your Leatherman Wave. It's you know, and if you have a Leatherman Wave, you know what I mean when you say, you know, you wear it all the time, you feel naked without it. You know, I use it probably at least every day, 3 times a day. So yeah, it's a Leatherman Wave.